Klevis, what's up, brother?
Nice to see you, Rich.
Good to see you. Just make sure you're talking to the mic when we're going on. What's going on? How was the trip?
Everything is great. The trip is going well.
Okay. How long did it take you to get here today?
Today was like 55 minutes.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah.
Came from
not bad
Astoria,
at all.
right?
Yeah.
Picked up Marisol.
We met at my place with Marisol and was just to get together, make it a little bit more fun. And we were practicing while we're coming here.
That's all. Not that hard.
Yeah. But
You'll be okay.
Yeah.
You'll be okay. We'll get through this nice and easily. Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Albania.
Okay.
While it was a communism country. I was born in 1984.
1984, you said?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I grew up in Albania in a little town close called Roskovec. And was very interesting because it was the transition from the communism to become a democracy. And that was the era of a lot of things changing, fighting. People were kind of new to this idea of democracy, and people took it in the wrong way, right? So for them, democracy was, I can do whatever I want now, I'm free. And it was interesting that I lived that moment in my life. And not that I suffered much or anything, because when things got a little bit more tough during the 1995, that were coming up with these pyramid schemes. Basically, there were these banks that you can put, let's say, $1,000, and after 3 months, you get $3,000 back. And people were getting very excited, so they sold their homes, their cows, their cars. And when they realized it was a scam, everybody lost their homes, their money. So people got very mad, obviously. And
that was from the government that did that, or?
I think, it's...
Well, you was probably still a baby at the time, right?
Yeah, I was
still young.
I was 10-year-old, 11. So I remember a lot of things that happened.
Wow.
And
so what did they do? They made a scam about put $1,000 into this bank and you'll get $3,000 back.
Because Albania was like a virgin country in sense of democracy, so it was very easy to get there and come up with an idea, and they will buy it anyway, because they were so close for so many years since the Second War. We were under communism, so there was not really a freedom of speech or anything. The government used to control everything. So after the 1990,
and it was the two towns were against each other, right? It was. In Albania, wasn't there like two? You guys were at war with each other too.
Well, that happened because of the Civil War. So everybody was against each other. Everybody was against everybody else.
In the 90s that happened.
In the 1990s, started in 1995, 1996, and then it exploded in 1997, and that's the year that I left.
Oh, so you left at that time?
I left that year, but during that period, my dad already immigrated to Italy, in Sicily actually. And he couldn't even come back. So it was very weird situation. So for me and my mom, and our family actually, was it became very dangerous because people were on the streets shooting. Everybody got an arm after they lost all the money. So basically it was a complete chaos.
Wow.
The government lost completely control. And I remember my mom and I and my uncle, we used to stay in the corridor in between the walls, where the walls of the apartment are thicker, because there was a curfew time after 6 p.m. And then everybody started shooting and stealing. What was a complete chaos.
Wow.
And to protect ourselves, we were in between the walls. I know it sounds crazy, right? It's
very interesting.
I went through that. Was very tough.
I'm a history buff, so I love this stuff. Not love it, but I love to hear in history and everything. I never heard that before.
Yeah, it was very tough to go through that, and it teaches you a lot. It teaches you how
so
important
you're living
is.
in a wall.
I was living in
like between the walls just to protect yourself during the night.
Right, during those hours.
Yeah, exactly.
Time after 6 p.m.
Why did it turn at 6 p.m., 7 p.m.? Is it just because nightfall?
Because when the nighttime, there was not even electricity full time. So the government lost
total
control and power of what was going on. So, and as you know, if you were like a guy 15, 16-year old, you start getting an arm, you create the little band, right? Like le bande, how you call it. So the gangster went on the streets and going to ask money for the restaurant, to the restaurant guy, to the business owner, and if you didn't give them money, they shoot you.
Wow.
Or they stop cars in the middle of the street and they ask for everybody's money. So stuff like that was going on every day because everybody was armed and you didn't know where the threat was coming from. So civil war, I think, is probably one of the worst that can happen because you don't really have an enemy. Everybody can be your enemy. And especially when you
never
have
looked at it
bread
that
to
way.
eat, there is no, everybody
Yeah, it's not
can
like the
become an
North and
animal.
the South when we went through it. This is you don't know who your enemy is on the street.
Yeah.
That's it. So it's just chaos.
Complete chaos. I thank God that I was not even 14. I was 11, 10, 11. Because if I was 15,
You would've been
it's
on-
easy to go on the street and start becoming a rebel or something. So it was very dramatic. It was crazy times that is only 1997, if you think about it.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so Albania had that kind of drastic change and revolution and a lot of corruption through the years. But luckily, thanks to my dad that immigrated in 1994, we went to Italy, we went to Milan,
So Dad comes in
And-
'94, and then you guys go over in '97.
1997.
Okay, what's that like? How did you get there? If you
So
don't mind me
that-
asking, if you don't mind sharing.
No, I think this is great experience and lesson, I guess, for somebody that if can help somebody in terms of perspective. But I think for me it was Italy was a dream. I remember when I came with a boat to see the lights of Italy from the boat. I was like, this cannot be real. So many lights, was so beautiful. And I was like, I hope I can make it because you don't know because we didn't even have papers. So, but luckily we were able to go to the other side. So the moment we went,
So you literally snuck into the country in a way, right on the boat.
what was a kind of a visa situation.
Okay.
And my dad was able to.
Okay, so you got
to
a
put
visa.
some-
Why'd you
something
go over
together.
boat? Is that just the way of transportation?
Was
or-
the transportation.
Okay.
Yeah, so we go from Durazzo or Vlor with a boat. And was
Oh, so
not
there was no
not
flying.
illegal, was
No, I'm not saying
nothing
anything
very
like that, yeah.
dangerous compared to because my dad actually had it in a dangerous way, like with a little boat, like you make it or you not.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so he had that route. Very, very difficult. For me, it was a lot easier because he was able to get a visa.
Okay.
But you always had the question mark, are you going to make it or not? So luckily, my mom and myself, we made it.
Did your uncle come too? Or?
It was just my mom and my dad and my,
And
yeah.
you.
So only three of us. And
And you don't have any brothers or sisters?
Not yet. My
yet.
brother was born in Milan.
Okay, awesome.
We have a 12-year difference in
Oh
age.
wow.
So he was born in Italy.
Okay.
So yeah, that part was kind of surreal to me. Was very exciting. I was a 12-year-old boy.
See
getting
these lights
to-
at night, and
Yes,
it's like wow.
the lights, the
How
people
long did
were
it take
different.
you from that point, from seeing the light? How long was the ride? It must have felt like forever. It must feel like it's still going on, right?
Oh yeah, looked like forever. It was like it took like 8 hours, 8 hours
wow.
with a boat, and then when we got there, we got a train from Brindisi, which is south of Italy. That was the stop, and from there we took a train straight to Milan for I believe 12 hours, 10 hours.
Jeez.
So that was the longest trip of my life.
I was gonna say you have to be tough to do that. 10, 11, 12 years old. Like, what do you?
I know, and I remember as of now, I used to ask my dad, I was like, so did we arrive or how long? Because it was never ending. And we stopped to city, and then until we got to Milan, and then we got to this little town called Malvaglio in Milan in the north. And that's where my dad used to live. So that's where we established ourselves in the beginning. And then from there, going to school, meeting friends and all that stuff. So
Let me ask you another question on this. Are you like at 12 years old? Are you a kid or are you an adult?
That's a great question. I think you are an observer, and it doesn't matter the age. I think, um, because I feel sometimes I'm still that kid looking
Sure.
the world with those eyes of curiosity, and you definitely are in the present moment. There is no more present moment than that moment. Um, and I think in the good and in the bad, those are the best times of your life
What I did,
that
yeah.
you're gonna remember for
Forever.
all your existence. So it taught me a lot, and I'm proud that I went through that because I can bring, sometimes you make some connections in the real world that you are okay. This is not that bad. I can deal with it, or I'm learning something. Okay, this is good because of this connection with the past.
Wow. No, that's right. That's so true.
Yeah.
That's so interesting. I never knew that about you. So you end up in Milan. You go to school in Milan now?
Yeah, so I started in seconda media, which is the second grade, and I
Did you
still
go to first
remember-
grade in Albania? Or
in Albania?
You
Yes,
did, okay.
I was
So you
a
went to
pretty decent student, I would say. So when I went in Italy, the world was different for me, for my eyes.
I can imagine, yeah.
Because in Albania we used to play soccer, we used to get out and stay out in the field, playing with
day.
friends. There was nothing, there was no toys, there was no video games.
Yep.
When I came to Italy, everybody was going to each other's home, playing at video games, going with a scooter with a girlfriend. I'm like, what the hell is happening here? I didn't expect that. That was something new to me.
Yep.
But I really enjoyed it. I had a hard time to integrate in the beginning. Kids at that age are not friendly at all.
Of course not, especially when you're an outcast.
Yeah.
Not an outcast, but you know what I mean. Being somebody from.
Yeah, and the
Was there a
Bad-
lot of transports from Albania to Italy at that time, or a lot of
There was-
people? Did a lot of people from Albania go to Italy at that time?
oh
or-
yes,
Oh, they
there
did,
was a
okay.
lot of immigration. They started in the 1990s.
90s, okay.
But the problem is that whoever came in Italy or in Greece, because that was the
Tulip.
two countries that were like a destination for a better life. If you're lucky, you were going to United States, but that was like
Later
a
on.
big dream. But Albanians,
Wasn't Germany another one?
yeah, but it was tougher.
It was tougher.
It was
yeah.
tougher. I think in our because we used to watch a lot of Italian television.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, my Italian was pretty good when I got to Italy. So because of TV, we had to have one Albanian channel, and we used to steal
All Italian.
TV from Italy. So I used to watch a lot of cartoons. That's how I learned Italian, and so that was easy for me. But the lifestyle in Italy was so different. So,
Really?
yeah, it was so different. And the reputation of the Albanians in Italy gradually started becoming bad because, to give you an idea, is like Albanians were like, if you put like, I don't want to call it like an animal or a puppy, you put it, you close it, in a room for so many years, and now you let it go. That
caged,
puppy
yeah.
is gonna do something stupid, right? So that what happened to Albanians because was not. First of all, they were not really educated to the, Western world. So for them freedom was real freedom, and
Oh, I can
some of them
imagine,
they
yeah.
start robbing here, stealing there, so not doing really great things. Not all of them, obviously. Like my dad was a hardworking guy, but because of some individuals, they took that for granted. They took advantage of that type of freedom, and that killed the reputation for us as hardworking people. So what happened when I went to school? Kids are very bad with words, right? As you can
Of
imagine,
course, yeah.
especially in the adolescent, period of life. So what happened is I was the target. Oh, Albanian, go back to your country. What are you doing here? You're still in work. That was the topic for me in the beginning.
As
when
a
I
12 or
trying
13-year-old,
when I
yeah.
was trying to integrate with my new friends. So that was pretty difficult for me to digest, also because I was very emotional and, was pretty, I'm still am, but as a character. So that was tough for me in the beginning. So I had a hard time for 1 year and a half, 2.
Okay.
And then after that, when I went to high school, it becomes easier. And the reason it became easier because one of the first day in school, I had to fight with somebody, and
was gonna say,
I punched him in the face. So everybody started respecting me.
Yeah.
So that was funny.
That's what I always knew about all the Albanian guys that I know. Tough, tough background, throw their hands really well, and yeah, you don't mess with them. They don't think, because again, you've been through so much. You can only imagine, at least everyone I met that was in that culture. But I always got along with Albanians and that whole world and that culture. But I never knew that about you. That's so cool.
Yeah.
It's actually cool that you were able to go through it, and I got to say I know you're going through that. So, how did you end up from Italy to the United States then? Did you go somewhere else first, or was it?
Yeah, I mean, when I was in Italy, I was an IT technician working for Eni. Was like the biggest gas corporation of Italy. So I was a technician, and I used to travel a lot to do sites. In terms of IT, I was never my passion to be an IT guy, but I loved the fact to travel and meet people and go from one place to places. That was what I was enjoying the most.
When did you get into that kind of work?
After I did
go to
telecommunication, high school professional was called. I did like 5 years of that as an IT technician. And just right after I started working for this company, was based in Sicily, and they had a couple of companies, branches in Milan as well.
Is that what Dad did too? Or?
No. My dad was a professional. He used to, I'm not sure the right term for, when you work the metal, you cut the metals for part of machineries.
Yep.
So he was like a technician in that. That's what he studied in Albania. It was a secure job back then. So he was able to start the same job, yes, the same job in Italy. So that was what he was doing, and me, I was IT technician for 7 years.
Okay.
And then when I had the opportunity to come here, it was just for vacation, visiting a friend, and I
What
really.
year was this?
Huh?
What year was that?
This was the first year, 2012.
Okay.
2012. I came, I stayed in New York, and then from there I went to Miami, and something happened. I really fell in love with New York, specifically. I don't know why I felt home. The first moment I stepped in, the energy, the people, this diversity, and people being well and nice together, it doesn't matter you are in a suit or you are working as a construction, you eat in the same place, you hang out almost in the same places. I felt accepted. I never felt accepted in Italy, to tell you the truth. Never. I always felt an outsider. That was kind of because of probably the trauma that I had in the beginning as a 12-year-old trying to integrate. So that kind of I brought that for a long period of time as feeling kind of some sort of inferiority in the sense because of the supremacy of Italians are the locals and I am the outsider. I always had this, which was, now I think back, was a limited belief, but was probably because of, the integration in the beginning. But New York removed that
Let me ask you
completely.
another question. You probably can't answer this, but how was Mom through all of this? Mom was able to adapt, or did she have a tough time too? And I know it's hard to answer.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's a good question, and thank you for asking that. I think that's, for them, was more like a place where let's stay as long as we can for our kids, and let's give them a better life.
Sure.
So sacrificing their life in a way, because of the coming from the communism country. So I think my dad had amazing opportunity, and he was a very smart guy, but he, like everybody else, chose the safety route because of the ideology of that time. My mom was working part-time here and there, but more like a woman for the family and staying home. So they never integrated very well at the high level, I would say. So always like staying within their community, maybe cousins or Albanian friends or brothers and sisters that moved later on. So it was not a really like a real integration.
Okay.
Me, of course, I integrated because I made friends. I evolved. I went to school.
Everybody, you know.
So
like,
I was never married, but I have a daughter in Italy. So her name is Julia. She's 15-year-old now.
That's
but
awesome.
yeah. So I was able to integrate obviously after many years.
so mom, could she speak? Was she able to speak Italian when she went over, or was it rough for her and dad?
She speaks. I mean, now she speaks a little bit better, but broken Italian. My dad was a little bit better.
Okay.
Yeah, but also because they never kind of integrated.
What was the language in Albania? About
Albania,
Albania, but was
Albania.
that close to?
It
Was it
must
closer to
sound-
Italy or Italian or?
No, really, it's completely different. It's a very
it is?
you call it autochthonal language.
How many languages do you know?
3.
It's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
God bless.
Yeah,
How'd you
learning
be-
French now because I'm back to college.
That's
French,
awesome.
I never was able to learn French, so I was like fascinated by it. So now I'm going back, trying to learn a little bit of French.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
How'd you pick up English so quick?
Well, I always wanted to learn English. I always was fascinated by English, and when I came here, I always tried to cut off all my Italian connections and Albanian connections as much as I could. So I always stayed with Italian, with American from New York, possibly, or people that speak only English. So I stopped watching Italian TV. I stopped watching football, soccer. I said, if I'm here, I want to go, all in.
It'll be baseball, tennis, hockey.
Yeah. And also because I have a daughter in Italy, so for me, is if I'm going to take this route to try, because the first time I came on vacation, I really fell in love, and then I said, this is awesome. I belong here. I feel this is the place where I want to stay. I want to grow. So I saw great potential. I saw I belong to the place. It's
Sure.
like when you go to a place that you feel like
Welcome.
you belong there and you've been there before.
It's like home, yeah.
Yeah.
So when did you come to the States officially?
So I moved here towards the end of 2013.
2013, okay.
Yeah. And then I started working any type of jobs to survive. I mean,
you do?
I did construction, plumber. I did pizza guy.
I remember you
The
saying
funny
that,
story about the
yeah.
pizza, when I went to ask for a job, there was an Italian shop, pizza delivery, and the lady was Italian. And I said, what is the job that makes more money here? What's the position? Is the guy that takes all the pizza from the oven and from the store, from the, how you call it, for the cashier? Or she said, well, the guy that makes more money is the dough guy. I said, okay, that's what I want to do. She said, are you sure? Because you are the one open and you are the one to close. And I remember back then they used to pay $7.50 per hour. I said, yeah, I'll take it. She said, I'll give you 2 weeks to learn. So I went full in. The guy was from Morocco. He taught me everything. In 1 week and a half, I was ready. They put me to the Upper East Side location to open it. So I had to open at 8:39 to start making the first pizzas until 11 p.m. until the closing.
So you were
11
there
o'clock.
all day?
All day. I used to make $120 a day. And then I asked for a raise because I was like, what's the matter? I mean, I'm making the same pizza as the guy making $250 a day. So why I'm not making the same money? She said, well, you just started. You cannot pretend for this much. I said, well, if that's the case, I leave. So I didn't resist in all of them, anything that I tried. Also in restaurant business, a bus boy. I never made it to a waiter because I became a real estate agent, luckily.
Yeah.
But I used to give up on them every 3 weeks to a month. But the most I resisted in a job was for 2 months, because within a year I got my
Real estate license.
my license.
So what forced you, what made you go into the direction to become a real estate broker or an agent?
Initially, it was just a job where
Did you see it on
a
TV?
friend of mine.
Okay.
No, not really. I mean, in Italy, to be honest, real estate agents are looked as people that are lazy. They don't want to work. That's I mean,
Italy.
In Italy, like in my from my from
A lot of
for what
similarity
I
in the
see.
United States.
So I never saw it as a career. I didn't know enough, honestly.
Sure.
But when I came here, a friend of mine was a real estate broker, and he basically was one of the first one that tried to venture into real estate, and he was very successful. So I kind of saw that happening. I was like, this is amazing. I really want to do this. And I was seeing like they will, because we were very, very close friends, I was seeing like checks left and right. I'm like, what are you guys doing here? Are you selling anything? And that was real
Homes.
estate. That was real estate. And I kind of got curious to know about it. And as soon as I got my license, actually, I made like 10 rentals in a month.
Wow.
So I made like $8,000. Remember, in Italy, I used to make $13,000 a year.
That's
So
crazy.
here I made in a month $8,000. I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. So I
That's
really
awesome.
started enjoying it more and more and more. Initially, to tell you the truth, Rich, was more about making money fast for me.
I could see that.
And it kind
So
of
it's
the
the
safety.
rental.
Yeah, so the rentals kept me busy. When I say 24/7 was 24/7. I never leave my phone without looking if there is an email or text coming in. It's always all about speed
Sure.
and filtering your clients. So that taught me a lot. And so initially, that was the reason why I got into real estate, to make money easy. And not easy, but fast,
I get
more
it.
than easy. And then I would say what happened is I start understanding more about people. And I got curious because I've always been a curious person to learn about people.
Could see that.
And slowly I start looking at how much I can improve on my communication skills and learning about people and meeting as many people as I can, because that was going hand in hand on growing my business. And then after 4 years, I realized that rentals was a little bit too small for me. And because I used to do deals in Astoria, Long Island City, and Manhattan, but every time I used to go in the city, I was like, wow, this is what I want to be.
Mm-hmm.
And I started looking what the other top agents were doing, the level of sophistication. So, and I used to kind of argue with my boss back then and say, why we are doing only rentals?
Sure.
The cake is so big that we're getting just not even one slice. Why we have to limit ourselves? Let's go big. So that was my kind of, I started looking around. And
So you started out in Astoria, or?
so I started, we were in Astoria, the office was based in Astoria.
Okay.
But I used to do also Upper East Side,
Sure,
Lower East,
yeah.
rentals.
But the Astoria was where the office
Astoria
was.
was the location. But every time I used to go in Manhattan, my eyes were like open.
Of course, yeah.
So from then I said, you know what? Unfortunately, we don't share the same vision at this point. So I decided to move to Compass. I had an opportunity to Compass, introduced by another colleague. And when I went to Compass, I actually realized that I said, wow, now we are talking. So all of a sudden, I was feeling great. All of a sudden, I was feeling like so small because of all these top agents. And
It's a little like my
I
story, too.
enjoyed the process because I was feeling scared. That scared that you are means that
Good.
you need to grow.
That's right.
And that's how I started.
It's kind of funny. We have similar paths in the real estate. I worked for a small company coming into it, and I loved it because I was a shark in a minnow pond. It was like, I was the number one agent, obviously. It was easy to deal with. Everything that came in, they wanted to come to me. So it was just, I was this monster swimming around in this little pond. Then when I left, I went to, took a small stop in exit, then went to Keller. And then I realized, God, there's so many players in it. And I wasn't even in the city. I was more in Queens. I was a Bayside agent. So it was Bayside, Astoria, and like that. But looking at the difference, it was crazy going from a mom and pop to a world. And when I was coming up, it was more Remax. It was Keller just getting started. Compass wasn't around yet. None of these companies were around yet. There was, Corcoran, I think, was just really getting going. Barbara sold and did her thing. But it's amazing. We're pretty much similar, though, in a way, because I started out doing rentals, obviously, and then moved right into sales. My first day, though, I did 2 co-ops, which was like a rental for the people in the city.
Yeah, right.
But it's so interesting how we share the same path and what we looked in. And again, you're right, seeing checks coming in, it's just like, wow. You can make a lot of money in this industry, or you can make nothing.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And the interesting thing is you worked with my cousin before, right?
Oh, yeah, with John.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you worked with John. Was he one of your first...
John was actually, I think John was one of my first mentors, to be honest.
Okay.
Because I think, besides my boss, obviously he taught me a lot, amazing guy. But John, in terms of client, John was a landlord. He owned a couple of buildings in Astoria, and he used to post apartments for rent by himself, by owner. So I had to compete with John to rent his apartments.
That's John.
and I won. So John had so many people that he used to ask them to work on their listing while he was advertising. Yeah. But the other people actually were not that successful. I was one of them that I was actually able to deliver what he was looking for, and very fast. So John started to give me exclusives, which for him was very tough.
Very rare, yeah, I know.
But because I was able to satisfy what he was looking for and really working hard for him, so that was the difference that he understood from me, that I put a lot of effort on really satisfy and kind of accomplish what you are seeking and what is important to you, rather than closing the deal and making the money and what's next. So I was more for the relationship, and I think John appreciated that. Yeah, and as a matter of fact,
he speaks very highly of you.
Yeah, we are good friends now. Very good friends. He's a great guy. And actually, I broke a record of selling a 3-family home with John's house by Astoria Park.
Oh, really?
It was a 3-family, renovated, okay. We sold it for $1,930,000.
Nice.
And people were kind of laughing at me back then, the other brokers. Good luck with that. But I think I did something that other people don't do. I pushed a lot in the marketing, even though there was nothing much I could have done. But whatever I could have done, I did the best, in my opinion. I painted the facade. I put the flowers. I changed the entry way. I made the first impression pops out more than just open the door and show the property. So
let's talk about that, because I was always amazed by this too. You get into now where'd you get this idea from, going out there and doing events in the places that you sell?
That's funny. Of course, I really liked $1 Million Listing, obviously. So some inspiration probably comes also from there. I like the way they market themselves, their properties. But most importantly, what I like about those events is not even the property itself, to be honest, is the connection that I can make between the property and the people who are hanging out in these homes or multifamilies. So when it comes to a home, the connection is very strong, right? So somebody's going to purchase a house when they feel that it's the right place. So how I can make that place the place for them? And bringing them together, create an environment where people having fun, getting a glass of wine, talking about their life, not necessarily just brokers, but more like neighbors or sphere of influence, people that I like and I hang out with. Put them together there, because I think in the end of the day it's word of mouth, and it's all about experience. So among them, sometimes a buyer can be sitting there, or a friend can say, hey, I was into this event, open house event. I had so much fun. It looks beautiful what they've done, and I think you should see the house. And to tell you the truth, every time I do those events, the buyer comes after a week or 2 weeks,
That's so
and we go
interesting.
under contract. That doesn't mean that the buyer comes from the event.
Of course
but
not, yeah.
somehow the energy, something that you put to the universe, it comes back to you. And of course, social media, all that stuff, and it's a win-win in any direction, I think, because people appreciate with the effort, people enjoy themselves, and most importantly, to connect to what I said earlier. What I love about this job is that you learn meeting people, putting people together. I love the dynamic, for example, when I bring different personalities, like a doctor with a lawyer, and they are hanging out in the problem that I'm trying to sell, and they are talking about science or any topic that
Sports,
I can
whatever
learn
else, yeah.
something. So it's more fun, it's more genuine, I would say, as a connection, instead of just doing open house with brokers. Not that we don't do it, I like to do that too, but I find that people just come hanging out, and I don't see a great outcome from there compared to do something for
When
the
was your last
neighborhood.
one? When was your last event?
My last one was at Trump Tower.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh, that's right. Yes, that's right.
that was probably one of the best that came out very, very well. I mean, of course, the effort that I put in was
Yeah, tell
Up to
me
the
about
top.
that, because that's the one with the piano, right?
yeah. So going back to curiosity
I-
and
I'm sorry to cut you off. I tell so many people this. I literally go in there and I'm somewhat teach it someplace. If I go out like out of New York and I'll go teach in one of these other market centers, I steal your shit and I talk about it.
yeah, please do.
It's mine.
That's what I do with you.
Exactly. But no, I always mention you and what you do, because Jonathan does it also, but you do it where I don't know, just explain to what you do, because that's amazing what you do. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, and it really is about bringing people together. Of course, I do due diligence in the sense of understanding the property and what type of people I want to bring there, in the sense of taste more than anything else, right? Is this property for a businessman? Not that it's not going to be, not leaving anybody outside, but I wanted to bring it, like if it's a $500,000 studio, I'm going to target maybe students, right? I'm going to target people that might enjoy that environment and or first-time home buyers. When it comes to Trump Tower, because of the decor and the way it is inside, there is a lot of gold, there is a lot of wood, there is a lot of kind of these pieces that are very expensive. So I ask myself and I say, who can be the audience here that can come and enjoy themselves without being like, oh my God, I feel an outsider. So, and then I put down a plan and I think about people that not only will like that taste, but also they can be having fun with it. So how can I bring a Juilliard student who can play piano and make everybody wowed with a Bernstein piano of 1885 that I brought in, thanks to my connections, that also for sale for $100,000, which I can get a commission, and you will get a piece of it. I will get 10% if I sell it. But that's the idea that goes in my head. Like, who are the people that can enjoy this environment? What is the theme? So it starts with a theme. It starts with who are the people that will enjoy it, and I put it together in a sophisticated level, depending on the property I'm trying to sell.
Did you? So when you did that, what's going through your mind to even? And I know you broke it down a little bit, but then what else goes hand in hand with that piano? What else do you do? So you have champagne, you have wine. Now, are you having that sponsored? Are you buying it? What's your thoughts behind it? You having restaurants come in? Again, me and you talked about this, where you have a restaurant come in, and what is that like?
Yeah. So obviously,
Violinist, right? All kinds of.
obviously, we want to be careful with our expenses. Like as a real estate agent, we don't make any penny unless we pay, unless we sell the property. So we try to strategize. And what I think is, who are the people that I help that can help me, right, in the business? For
And you're
example,
also helping them too, because you're getting their stuff out there.
absolutely, I help
Which is
them. I help them with my business, with my clients,
Right.
and they can help me back, but also helping themselves, because it's a win-win for them as well. They are sponsoring themselves. So this can be mortgage brokers, movie companies. So in this case, I have
Didn't you have a massage therapist on one of them?
that was another event
Okay.
that I did. So yeah, stuff like that. I think about who can, based on the theme, and I try to ask them, "Do you want to be part of this?" So then maybe somebody sponsors the food, somebody sponsors the music, and vice versa. In this case, the students came through a Chinese channel, thanks to my friend, because I have a friend that June Xiao, that she teaches piano to top talented kids that end up to Juilliard, and she brought 3 of these kids to play
That's
that
awesome.
day, and that was amazing because the Chinese channel was there promoting the place. And
Wow.
what happened is, that is the funny part. People don't even know that the house, how much the house is for sale. They only know that it's for sale because it goes to the flyer. We have to, have permission from the building and from the owner, obviously. We don't make any money from it, obviously. I want to make that clear. The whole point is to bring people together, enjoy themselves, and maybe a buyer will come out of it, right? And make connections. So what happened is, most of these people, probably they don't even know the price. And it happened that one of the guests asked me, how much is this house, this apartment? I was like, that's a
Great question.
great question. So how much do you think? And she said, well, I don't know. I mean, looks everything amazing. I mean, because that's a perception people get at that point. She's like, 50 million? I was like, no. And the other friend's like, give me a guess. I think it's 25 million. I was like, no. And the other one, like, how much? She's like, 30? I was like, guess what? It's only $9.7 million.
Wow.
So they were giving me these crazy numbers
based on what-
because of that, right?
so
Of course, you are at
interesting.
Trump Tower, so you can imagine that it's expensive. But there were a couple of buyers there that, thanks to friends of friends, they brought them in. And they were very curious about it. And they started becoming like, oh my God. Because every piece of that house, that apartment, was designed for that unit. And coming from Tanzania, like the floors, Amato is coming from Tanzania. Only the floors in 2012 was 400,000.
Wow.
And you walk on it. 24 karat gold sink in the powder room. So things like that, people start becoming like very curious, and all of a sudden, a buyer, everybody's a buyer. That's how I see it.
I agree. Everybody's a buyer. That's right.
Yeah.
And you got it sold.
Unfortunately, not yet.
Okay.
The environment doesn't help with
Yep.
the name, but
Okay.
I think we got a couple of offers. We got 2 good cash offers. We couldn't entertain them. We're very distant from the price.
Yep.
Not a lot, but not close enough to even have a conversation. It was a buyer from California, but we're still working very hard.
We'll get it done.
It's a matter of time. Now things are moving, so
Yeah, I
hopefully we
agree.
get there.
What was the other event that you were part of with the appliance? Was with the kitchen? The guy
Buffy?
Yes. That was another interesting one. Was that yours or was that his? Or?
Oh no, that was his event.
That
That
was
was
his
his
event.
event.
That
Was a
used
very
his
good
kids.
friend of mine, the CEO of Buffy, and Marco. Which is actually my client.
Oh,
He
yeah,
bought a
that's right,
house
that's
through
right.
me, and since then we became very good friends. We hang out together. Our wives are very good friends. So and he throws these parties at his showroom in Madison Avenue, and that's what I get to connect with a lot of people.
That's
I don't like to
amazing.
hang out where other brokers are, so I try
course
to
not, yeah.
put myself where there are less of them and just me,
Sure.
hopefully, which is never the case. But yeah,
But no, that was an awesome event too. It was, what gave you that idea to do that? Just to surround yourself, like, coming from, again, your story is amazing, and it's one of the fastest hours also that we ever talked. I learned so much today. But coming from the guy from Albania that went to Italy, that came to the States, opened pizzerias, flipped pizzerias, delivered pizza, whatever it is, was a plumber, to becoming such a successful real estate broker, and coming up with these ideas to do. It's like, where does it come from? And I know
Well,
it's curiosity.
mainly I think it's curiosity and this burning desire to become somebody in life, and that somebody, it was not clear in the beginning. Like, people always say, what is your passion? or what is your,
Vision,
what
or-
drives you, what is the vision. And I think some people, unless you are like Michael Jordan, that you know exactly what to do, other people like us, I think you have to play and you have to trial and error, really. And so you understand what you actually like. So what drives me is the passion of learning every day, learning from people, and watching other successful people. And the more you learn, the more you want to learn. So that's what happened to me. I see people like you, for example, with our meetings. I learn a lot from you. I admire you very much.
Appreciate that.
I see the growth of yourself, what got you, and you never stop. One of my best friends is Rob Davies. Rob have opened through his hedge fund company when he was younger. He still works with them, but as a consultant. He turned 80-year-old a few months ago. He's one of my best friends.
That's awesome.
And he has a charity, Helpful Children, helps children against children abuse. And when I meet people like him, I get excited. So that is my motivation, my drive to connect with people that know more than me. And what it really takes to get there is a lot of hard work. There is no shortcut. You gotta do the dirty job. You should never give up, and no space for complaints. So that's all together.
It's awesome. So, and again, like I said, this is one of the quickest hours that I ever went through, and thank you for sharing. This was awesome. What's a couple more questions for you? What piece of advice would you give somebody new or getting into the industry, or even somebody with a little bit of time getting into it? What advice would you give them?
First of all, I think you have to ask yourself, do you like to deal with people's problem? Because that's what it turned down to. Do you like people enough? If the answer is yes, I think this is the best place to be, because the amount of knowledge, the amount of learning that you are going to do by doing this, by having fun, obviously. Of course, nothing is easy, but just by having fun, because you cannot teach the passion of being curious about people. That either you have it or you don't. So I think that's the most important thing. And from there, you have to be resilient. You should never give up, because the moment you are almost there to break through, that's where the magic happens, and a lot of people give up. So I think, and I went through that many times in my career. I thought to go to IT many times. I thought to go to do something else. But real estate is something that gives you so many opportunities, opens so many doors, because it's something that people need, is the most important need for people, is a house. So that is the key to get access to people. So from there, what you do with it is on you, because you can build another business, you can build multiple business, you can create a partnership. Like now I'm working with 10 executives, top executives from Italy. They are trying to create a portfolio, and they offered me to be a partner, and I said, absolutely yes.
I would too.
You know, so that's what real estate gives you.
That's awesome. And then where do you see the market going in like 26, 27, 28? Where do you see it going? You think it's finally making a turn up? Because it's been a rough couple of years, right?
Yeah. I mean,
And you were able to go through it, but you know.
Yeah, I think this was a great experience. I mean, it was terrible, obviously, the COVID, but in COVID you learned a lot, because it gives you a better perspective how things can go bad and how things can recover. In 2007, I didn't have a chance to experience that. It's just by reading in the books. One of the books that I highly recommend is Principles with Ray Dalio, that explains exactly how that happened and how
What was the name of that again?
Principles, Ray Dalio.
Okay.
So I think if you are a successful real estate agent, you see the opportunities everywhere, and that's why I always diversify. I always have the rental business. I always have also the commercial business if I need to, and the residential sales business. So if something is moving better, for example, the rental market, and then you shift into rentals. There is nothing wrong with that. And keeping always the sales ready for things change again. So you have to be able to be flexible as things change. Now, in terms of the market, I think things are starting moving in New York City. I know that people are scared for depending on which segment of the market, especially the luxury sector. I see that people are a little bit more concerned right now with the new elections and all that, without going to politics.
Sure.
But I think a smart person can always be able to navigate any markets, really. If you are able to make money during COVID and people made the most amount of money.
What do you think that was? Again, I really like your opinion because you're not from the outside, but you are, right? Because again, you saw so much in life.
I think that was simply I mean, again, this
Such
is
a
my
young guy. You went through so freaking much. It's awesome.
I think that was, if I may say that, I don't know. But for me, it was more like, I mean, the disease is there, right? You cannot negate that. But go to the extreme, I think, was a social experiment. That's
sense.
my humble opinion.
Yeah, I get it.
So, because you see people how react in these situations, and myself, when you are in the moment, you don't know what the hell is going to happen
No, you
a
don't.
month
Yeah,
from now.
that's right, that's right.
So whoever tells me that, oh, that's a great moment to invest,
You never
dude,
know.
you don't even know if you're going to make it tomorrow.
That's right.
So you can predict, but you cannot really predict much when you are, because you have to bring the emotion in those moments when things passed, the emotion is not there anymore. So you have clarity. But when you are in the moment, there is emotion there. And because we are sensitive to whatever happens to our emotions, because that dictate our actions, and people get freak out and do stupid things. And that's what actually happened during the time. A lot of people freaked out and for more than they should, and other people learn to enjoy more interpersonal relationships with their wives. They became stronger in their relationships. Like, I have friends that got closer, and I have friends that
Got bought, yeah.
they fell, they broke up because of that. So I think if you put in your mind that every situation you can learn something, and it doesn't become boring and it becomes less painful, I think.
It's very interesting. And then, what can we see with your team coming up in 26? Anything exciting, or what are we looking to do?
I am looking to grow the team with the same philosophy that I have.
Okay.
And I see my team as a partnership with my agents. I want to be able to put my agents in a position they can thrive, maybe even more than me, because eventually one day they're going to be my partners. So that's how I see my team growing. I don't like to be the top of the pyramid. I want to be equal with my agents as much as I can. And everybody will grow in their own way, because everybody can bring something to the table. And that's what I do when I hire. I see, okay, you want to be a real estate agent, but what is your background? What else do you have that can, the moment that we have an opportunity to build another business, what can you bring to the table? Because everybody can be a real estate agent. A real estate agent is not opening doors. Not everybody can be, obviously, don't get me wrong, but what I'm saying is everybody can get a license. But what you can do with it is much, much more. So I'm here to kind of push the vision, and everybody else kind of being aligned with it.
Well, that was awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. I look forward to watching you grow. Love you. Thanks for being part
Thanks
of
so
us.
much, Rich.
Good job, buddy.
This was great.
Awesome job.
Thanks.